I thought it was fascinating content, to be honest. I think some of the things that Karl was saying about just going back to the basics that you know, going back to some of the real fundamental principles of selling cars and taking advantage of what's in front of you rather than always looking for some magic bullet that you haven't yet discovered was really pertinent. Do the basics right and ultimately car sales will take care of themselves. Digital sales don't necessarily mean non-profitable sales.
The best employees have a choice of who their employer is going to be. So if you want to prosper in 2018, you've got to be an attractive employer. You've got to be fair and you've got to be flexible, and you've got to recognise good efforts and reward accordingly. If we do find that Q1 in 2018 is a quieter period than we might wish, that is exactly the time we should be training and developing our people. So okay, this year new car sales have slowed, reduction year on year. That will probably be shown in 2018 Q1 as well. But the car park's still grown. There's plenty of business to do out there. And as I said in my presentation today, the business that's really going to grow those retailer outlets are the opportunities that already exist.
I think the reaction generally was very good and people are very positive about it. Well, there are a few out there who think they can ignore it, and I think that the whole GDPR thing is going to go away and they're not going to get fined or whatever. But I think I would urge anyone to make sure they do switch on and deal with it.
And what we're seeing is the fall in the number of people actually going to a dealership. In some cases it's below one, so people are actually buying the cars now without walking into a dealership. And of course this ongoing increase in research before you buy the car, and this phenomenon of the customer knowing more than the person selling the car about their car because they haven't researched it in minute detail before they get there. Make your messages as strong and simple as you can. Think why you stand out and offer up 1 or 2 reasons. Don't try and overwhelm people with 20 reasons why you are better or why they should come to you or why the latest new car is the one for you. Keep it simple, keep it direct and keep it very targeted.
Bear in mind that the total market, including the sales of used cars, is still relatively stable. And so if there's a correction whereby there's less pressure on the new car market from the retailer point of view, and we can maintain a balance between looking after used car customers and new car customers, I actually think long term, whilst we don't enjoy these days, long term we might think that correction's long overdue.
I touched on retailers' detail, and now we move into this properly into this digital age. I think, I've been in the business almost 30 years. My approach was always our business had to look presentable at all times. I used the example in the session about making sure there's no weeds, making sure there's no litter. I think today, every dealer needs to make sure that there's no weeds on their website, there's no litter floating about their website, because it's not visible, and I'm not sure, I don't have much confidence that the majority of dealers out there actually see the level of detail that's required on an online platform.
So the main point I would want any dealer to take from that presentation is that relationship with their finance provider. Ensuring your objectives are completely aligned with your finance provider is absolutely crucial in any partnership. A lot of the time that finance provider is the lifeblood for your stock and for your business. And without that finance provider, you may not have the levels of stock or the type of stock that you have in place. Ensuring that you have the right relationship with your finance provider is absolutely paramount.